food prices are now becoming relatively stable. And I'm just like, hold that thoughts. Like, what I okay? So just tell me your own thoughts. Like
Over the weekend, I went to Kara to buy, meats with my mom here, and the prices at which things are so expensive. Down to what we even eat. It's not funny anymore. So I can't say that, okay, it's actually nothing is reflecting. Things are still overly expensive and are even more expensive than they were weeks back or months back. So nothing is actually changing yet. Instead, the changing is based off of the fact that there is double the price of what you get before. So those are the changes that are currently occurring.
For me, normal man, even I would not even say that the food prices are easing myself. I personally wouldn't say, but where are the numbers coming from? We don't know. Like, this is just the data, and then we're bringing it to you. The International Monetary Fund has urged the government that they should, implement excise duties, on telecommunication services and value added tax to fuel, right? And why would they say this? They'll say, because at the top level it is to help the government reach its revenue target.
At this part here, it's not majorly our problem. Our problem is the fact that we have a lot going out of our pockets. You get, in terms of even household alone, household equipment and all is enough. Cost of living is already enough. Now you're suggesting taxing fuel. See, the only thing that is going to be in the mind of a consumer is the amount of money they are going to spend at the filling station. So whatever decisions the government or the people in seats want to make, they should consider, as much as they are trying to do it for the benefit of the country, for the nation, the economy and all of that. Still have a second thought on all of these things.
Welcome to another episode of Across Markets by Business 360. My name is Joy Abia and I remain your host on this show. And with me, I have
Vera Ifechukwu, your co-host on this show.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Vera. As always, I do enjoy being on this show with you. So picking up from where we stopped last week, or what we touched on last week, we spoke about the open market operations by the CBN and how they were able to mop up over 3 trillion naira from the economy, right? And that was surpassing their targets from the open market operations. However, today, or as of now, which is about like 2 weeks, the CBN has been able to mop up now over 6 trillion naira from the economy due from their open market operations. Now, why? I mean, this move basically is because for June, like June's forecast is saying that the projected inflow for June into the economy is about just roughly 10 trillion naira. And so these efforts that the CBN is making to take up money from the economy already right now, before it starts to before it realizes the June's projected inflow into the economy, it's just the CBN making their own moves in actual, like, basically you can see how aggressive they are when in terms of actually curbing and fighting inflation, the numbers and everything. So because if that kind of money comes in and there's still a lot of money in circulation, I mean that's massive inflation. That's just a room for, I don't want to call it disaster, but for everything that they've been fighting for, it may not be a good thing. So, I mean, there's that. Following this news, of course, we have projections. Some analysts are projecting that the inflation rate as of like maybe May should be dropping to 15.0 or roughly 15%, from 15.89% in April. Now they said, according to the analysts, this is because they have seen food prices become relatively stable in the past in May, and then maybe from April, May, and now this month June. Okay, so there's that. And they said, according to why is this inflation easing from 15.89 to now 15? They said it's because food prices are now becoming relatively stable. And I'm just like, hold that thoughts. Like, so just tell me your own thoughts. Like, where are we? Is it really stable?
It's not stable. It's not stable.
But you're speaking
Because
for one man, yourself.
okay, I can't say I'm speaking for just myself. I'm speaking for people, right? Because obviously, okay, sometime on the weekend, over the weekend, I went to Kara
Okay.
to buy, meat with my mom, yeah, and the prices at which things are so expensive, down to what we even eat. It's not funny anymore. So I can't say that okay, it's actually nothing is reflecting. Things are still overly expensive and are even more expensive than they were weeks back or months back. So nothing is actually changing yet.
Okay.
Instead, the changing is based off of the fact that there is double the price of what you get before. So those are the changes that are currently occurring, not a reduction in anything.
Anyway, the numbers numbers at the end of the day aggregates, like the those who the economy, the fact that we can communicate numbers in the economy, and how they can come about these what's it called, conclusions, is because they are collating numbers at a higher level, and then there are different indicators that they look at. Food prices, which is like, it falls under, there's a food price index, and then I think there's also the consumer index. So it's like ultimately they're saying, from how we've seen the numbers, I think I also got the numbers this morning, but it sort of skipped me now. But I think it's eased to about less than 1%, from 2% or 2 point something percent. I think maybe two, around that May. But anyway, it is what it is. Like, I mean, from a normal man, even I would not even say that the food prices are easing myself. I personally wouldn't say, but where are the numbers coming from? We don't know. Like, this is just the data, and then we're bringing it to you. So another thing is that the International Monetary Fund has urged the government that they should, implement excise duties, one, on telecommunication services, and value added tax to fuel, right? And why would they say this? They'll say, oh, because at the top level it is to help the government reach its revenue targets, because of course, more taxation, more revenue for the government to do all that they probably have in mind to do, or have in their plans to do. So this recommendation is coming from, skyrocketing prices in fuel. We know that for sure. And also a recent 50% hike in telecommunication tariffs. So this one can only, we're just going to be talking about the consumer. The consumer is only
The
going to
major,
feel
yeah,
it.
exactly. And I mean, we the consumers are the ones that are actually going to take the whole of this. It's more like whenever you make a decision or whatever action you decide to take, it boils down to the objects, not just you, the subject. It might not even, okay, in terms of Nigerian as a whole, and our people at the seats, on the seats there, most of the actions and everything they take, it's all coming on us, we the citizens of the country and of the nation. So it's not, I don't think adding value tax to to fueling and to the telecom services it's a good idea. Yeah, you guys, it's a suggestion. I don't count it. For me, I don't really count it. I don't want it, because just mobile phone calls alone, do you know how much you can recharge to make a phone call, and for in seconds the whole money is out? Same thing with data subscriptions. We all know how it is.
Yeah,
we are all feeling it, right?
definitely.
Same thing with SMS services. Bank will charge you, different things are charging you, and before you know it, why are we needing the tax on it? Why? What's the reason? What's prompted that suggestion, or what even birthed that idea? I don't
Like
count
they said,
it.
they want to help the government make more revenue.
They want to help the government make more revenue. I feel like, okay, I'm not the government. I don't know how you guys want to go about it, but what I feel I know as an average Nigerian speaking, I feel like we need to focus more on solving problems in terms of, okay, network issues in the country. We have some of these networks that are not even like so good in some certain locations. Why don't we first work on solving those problems first? At least if I buy a certain amount of network or data, not only is it so bad or poor, at this part here, it's not majorly our problem. Our problem is the fact that we have a lot going out of our pockets. You get, in terms of even, household alone, household equipment and all is enough. Cost of living is already enough. Now we want to, you're suggesting taxing fuel. See, the only thing that is going to be in the mind of a consumer is the amount of money they are going to spend at the filling station. So whatever decisions the government or people out there want to make, the people in seats want to make, they should consider, as much as, yeah, they are trying to do it for the, benefit of the country, for the nation, the economy and all of that. Still have a second thought on all of these things. Put yourself in the feet of a surviving Nigerian, average person and the vulnerable ones. Try to consider that. I don't know if you guys do consider those things, but let's consider, please. The country is not smiling.
All right. So if you are the minister of anything watching, please take our dear suggestions and, don't, maybe you ignore their IMF or whatever it is. I think that the government will do what is most suitable for. On the sector signal today, manufacturing sector, we're highlighting this manufacturing sector and then a little bit of aviation. So manufacturing, I think we've been talking manufacturing for like over maybe in the past 2 episodes.
Yes.
They are actually still, which still points us to the fact that creating, manufacturing is still where the money is at the end of the day. We have oil, but as of Q1, right, we saw manufacturing contribute over, or let's just say approximately 330 billion naira in VAT revenue alone, which proves that this sector is a tax powerhouse. Now, that's, I'm impressed, but it still goes to tell us, I'm impressed, but the numbers are still going far to tell us that diversification is good, in the economy. Manufacturing, look at how much manufacturing is bringing. I mean, even their manufacturing, I think they released some data too as well. This Q1 or the past Q1, I think Q2, they just released some, data, and some have paid out dividends and it's looking good. So, I mean, at the end of the day, this sector is still one of the most thriving sectors in the economy. Kudos to, I think, every manufacturer, every manufacturing company that is still thriving, besides all of the other inflationary things that do affect production. However, if the economy or if the government is seeing over 300 trillion naira from manufacturing sector tax, value added tax alone, then now we are creating our own, but that's revenue from us making our own things. But then on the other hand, there is over how many trillion? 1.75 trillion naira that has gone out this Q1 alone. I think only Q1 has gone to importation of vehicles and aircrafts, everything within that sector, vessels as well. So if we can see that the manufacturing sector is generating in tax over 300 billion naira, and then we're seeing 1.75 trillion going out to importation of vehicles, what does that tell us about the economy?
It actually shows a real massive improvement. We can see that the first quarter in 2025, it was at 289 billion naira. That's first quarter 2025. Now this is 2026 and it's 300 billion naira. That's an increase of 42 billion naira increase, indicating that it's a stronger tax contribution from the sector. So it's a really, really great one and a great move, you understand. And manufacturing has contributed through the VAT, the company income taxes, payee taxes from employees, and of course other levies that and duties that are being pinned on any other sector in the country.
And then what about having to spend way more on importation?
When we say we are a consuming nation, right, it's not a play. We don't play. These things are not play, because, and these are things we even need to work on and ponder more on, because having to spend more on importations and vehicles, that's quite a lot. And I feel like the people, not just the people on seat, both the manufacturers and, investors and everyone that has the opportunity or the leverage to ensure that things are being played well or things run well, right? I feel like they need to work together, right? They need to put their heads together to get things right in play for the economy.
However, the manufacturing sector accounted for 9.57% of the gross domestic product. I mean, that's still a significant part of, of our revenue in the country, in the nation. And at the end of the day, we are still looking forward to a Nigeria or an economy that feeds herself. So, if manufacturing, if we are still manufacturing vehicles and all of these other things, we have to look forward to, how, like, if this, all of this, whatever revenue that the government is trying to make, it should be spent more on creating more infrastructure, or easing policies, easing tariffs that do hinder the manufacturing sector, because the more that they can produce the things that we are importing, the less we have to spend on importation. I mean, it's quite simple.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and I could also see here that the Nigeria's economy expanded by 3.89% year on year in the first quarter for this year, right? And it's actually shows that if we want to compare it to the previous years, we'll see that the GDP growth has upgraded the economy, right? And there is more production and more services that, like, there is increase in production and services being rendered more this year, and that's what resulted into that massive output. Yeah, so it shows that, okay, the economy has expanded and it's at a very good rate right now. It's a moderate economic expansion, so that's a very great one for the economy in Nigeria.
All right.
Now let's go global. Yeah, well, spotlighting the SpaceX IPO. SpaceX has gone viral, has gone public, is going public, and hitting a valuation of nearly $2 trillion. Yeah, and it's a ultimate case study in which shows that patience actually pays, right? Because back in 2000, investing in SpaceX looked extremely risky. Everyone that has, invested in them years back are now getting their massive returns on their investments right now. And this is a lesson for we Africans, let me just say Nigerians, because we want the quick scheme. We want the short-term return of revenue. We don't want something that will take so much time and all. We want the quick way of getting things done or getting money to our pockets. And this is actually a lesson that we should know that, and a lesson that we should learn, that patience pays. Yes, in terms of investment, if you're patient enough, you're going to have good returns in whatever thing you're going to put in your money in. So
amazing. Okay, so I mean, anyone who bought if you were part of, like, you took part of the, or like you cashed out big from the SpaceX IPO, give me a call. Anyway, so this is what we have to now moving on to what we need to watch out for this week. Now, like I already mentioned, analysts are projecting that inflation would be at maybe the latest inflation rates should ease to 15.02% from about 15.89% in April. So that's exactly what we're going to be watching out for. Whatever the National Bureau of Statistics is gonna say, will actually, this projection, will it hold, or are we going to see something different? So that's definitely something to watch out for.
Yeah. Yes. Also, another things for us to watch out for is to keep our eyes open on the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah, any volatility there directly impacts our fuel landed cost, and of course, as we've already discussed here, and is the single biggest variable in our domestic inflation story right now.
So definitely watch out for honestly, this one may not be market related or money related. Where I don't know if you are keeping your eyes on the World Cup. I'm definitely watching the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we have major African countries playing there, and what I mean. Like there's only supply. I can only talk. I want to start talking some economic terms, like how this football and all of that is definitely going to impact some core, like let's just say some average prices of things within, let's say like watch time, maybe if you have to buy data to watch something, but anyway, all of these things, all I'm saying is that all of these actions, the governments would have, the African governments of each of those countries, South Africa, Congo, I think Morocco, would have spent some quite a, like, spent an amount to get them in that place. So whatever their returns would be, we're looking out to hear good news from each of their matches and everything. So anyway, that's all for us today on Across Markets, and I hope to see you on next episode. Please, till then, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Comment if there was anything that struck your attention and you'd like for us to cover in the next episode. And follow us on all our social media platforms. This is Business 360 across Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn. And that is bye for now.